It's time for another blistering report from the front lines of the cultural war for a constitutional America. And now, here's your host, Charles Benninghoff.
Did FBI Director James Comey lie under oath when he testified before the House Intelligence Committee about President Trump's wiretapping tweets, saying that Trump's allegations were false, that wiretapping never happened? Well, today I'm going to look at three separate statements that Comey made under oath, and then I'll show you evidence that 100% contradicts Comey's sworn testimony. When you see the evidence, I hope you'll join with us in calling for FBI Director James Comey's impeachment and removal from office if the allegations here are found to be true. Remember, impeachment is merely filing charges. It is not the conviction. All I'm asking is that the truth of the revelations and the discoveries revealed in this video be heard and determined to be true or not. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll see previous videos where I explain James Comey's close personal ties to Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. Plus, I promise I'll keep you up to date on these and many, many more issues with facts you never hear anywhere else. In fact, James Comey is a multimillionaire because of his private sector work, which involved Lockheed Martin weapons contracts through the Clinton-run State Department, and donations that were made to the Clinton Foundation at the same time. I covered this in great detail in a previous video, the link to which you'll find in the text below. But my focus today is on the House Intelligence Committee meeting that took place on March 20th. So here we go. Let's examine three separate statements that James Comey made under oath in this hearing. First, let's roll statement number one. Listen up.
Director Comey, was the President's statement that Obama had his wires tapped in Trump Tower a true statement?
With respect to the President's tweets about alleged wiretapping directed at him by the prior administration, I have no information that supports those tweets, and we have looked carefully inside the FBI.
No information? You heard it for yourself. Comey says he has no information that supports those tweets. I'm sure you've probably seen the headline on the New York Times by now from January 20th, 2017 that reads, and I quote, "Wiretapped data used in inquiry of Trump aides," close quote. Let's bring that in full screen so you can take a good look at it. There it is, sitting looking at you, circled in red. You can't miss it. This was on January 20th of this year. Public information released from the government. I saved a copy of this article as a PDF on our action page today in case Barack Obama's loyalists at the New York Times try to scrub this article from the internet. I don't put it past them. So you can read the article for yourself. Don't trust me? Read the source document. But let me read to you a quote from that article. And keep in mind, James Comey said there was no information about alleged wiretapping of President Trump. From the New York Times, and I quote, "The FBI is leading the investigations aided by the National Security Agency, the CIA, and the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Unit." One official said intelligence reports based on some of the wiretap communications had been provided to the White House, close quote. So the reason why the White House knew it was being wiretapped by Comey was because the government itself told the White House. And now Comey is saying that isn't true. How does it get any plainer than that? How does it get any clearer than that? But not only that, the Washington Times reported that intelligence officials unmasked members of President Trump's transition team when they scooped up surveillance that involved them. Normally, if the government intercepts a phone call or an email when they are surveilling a foreign operative, they scrub the Americans' names out of the documentation so that citizens' Fourth Amendment rights are not violated. In this case, however, Trump's team members were named in the documents that were then circulated through clandestine spy rings of public sector labor union traitors from the Obama administration. Hangers-on, leftovers, traitors, the whole lot. I suppose Comey has no information about that either, especially because he is one. It's not looking good for James Comey so far. Let's move on to statement number 2 that Comey made under oath. In this clip, you'll hear the initials DNI, which stands for Director of National Intelligence, DNI. Take a look. Listen closely. You'll be surprised again.
When did you notify the DNI, the White House, or senior congressional leadership?
It's a good question. Congressional leadership, sometime recently, they were briefed on the nature of the investigation in some detail, as I said. Obviously, the Department of Justice has been aware of it all along. The DNI, I don't know what the DNI's knowledge of it was because we didn't have a DNI until Mr. Coates took office, and I briefed him his first morning in office.
There was no Director of National Intelligence, or DNI, according to James Comey, so the DNI could not have been briefed until Dan Coates was sworn in. That's what he says. Well, but the wiretapping of President Trump's aides began almost a year ago, in spring of 2016. James Clapper was Barack Obama's Director of National Intelligence until January 20th of 2017. Comey says there was no DNI, and he did not brief the DNI until Dan Coates was sworn in a week ago. So Comey is stating that over the course of an investigation that stretches back 9 or 10 months, he never briefed a sitting DNI because he had no DNI sitting. What a liar. This appears to be another lie, and I think it is, no doubt. He had to have briefed Clapper at some point between June 2016 and January 2017 because that was his job. His job was to make those briefings. I promised you we'd look at 3 statements. So here's number 3. Once again, listen up closely. You won't believe it.
Is there any evidence that Russia tried to hack other entities associated with the 2016 presidential campaign in addition to the DNC or Clinton campaign operatives?
Yes, many others.
Can you specify those others? Did that include the RNC? Did that include any of the other campaigns of candidates in the primaries, either Democrats or Republicans?
I think what we can say in an unclassified setting is what we have in the report, that there were efforts to penetrate organizations associated with the Republican Party, and that, I think that's what we said in the report, and that there were not releases of material hacked from any Republican-associated organizations.
Comey says there were no materials released that were hacked from Republican-associated organizations. What Comey is doing is holding up the Democrat Party narrative, which is the lie that Russia hacked the elections and helped Donald Trump steal the election from the rightful winner, Hillary Clinton. Were there no materials from the Republicans released, as Comey stated under oath? Well, let's investigate that. If you look at our action page today, you'll find a link to a website called DC Leaks, which is similar to WikiLeaks, where thousands of emails from the Republican National Committee were posted in October of 2016. How do you like that one? 2016. The only reason you don't know about the RNC emails, if in fact you don't, is because the mainstream media covered up the release of these emails. Comey obviously thought if the media doesn't cover it, the American people, including our elected officials, are just too stupid to know about it. Plus, the RNC emails were just inter-office communications about perfectly legal campaign activities, so there was no dirt on the GOP. Now think back. The reason why the emails from the Democrat National Committee and Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, John Podesta, were all reported on was because these emails were filled with racist comments about Democrat Party constituents. Yes, they even call themselves racist names. Also, influence peddling between the Clinton Foundation and foreign governments, satanic rituals that were supposed to be performed in John Podesta's house, how to destroy Bernie Sanders' campaign, their own candidate, Bernie Sanders, how to destroy it, as well as creepy messages about ogling prepubescent children in a hot tub. The RNC emails, on the other hand, were 100% clean, businesslike, professional, and they were released in October of 2016. They were out there and they were known. So there you have it. 3 separate statements from James Comey, all made under oath. It should be clear by now that Comey is not telling the truth. I ask the question, is Comey capable of telling the truth? I said all along that Comey is a Clinton operative who owes his personal wealth to his relationship with Bill and Hillary Clinton, as well as the Clinton Foundation. Comey also appears to be an Obama loyalist who is willing to say and do anything to undermine President Trump. We, the people, can fire James Comey. We just have to stand up on our own 2 feet. We have to rattle their cages. We have to tell the people in Washington, D.C. to get rid of this traitor. We have to speak out to Congress and demand that articles of impeachment be filed against him for lying to Congress under oath. Now, here's how you can help. Bob Mallory will have instructions for you in the coming screen that describe how to get to our action page. Once you're there, you can take action, be your own action hero. From there, you can send personal letters to Congress, starting with the House Judiciary Committee, demanding that they take action against James Comey. Tell Congress, in fact, to impeach Comey. This is Charles Benninghoff, signing off and wishing you freedom, fulfillment, God's many blessings.
If you're on our action page on our website, use the form next to the video screen to select a program and send personal letters to Congress. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the icon appearing now to find the link to our action page, or check the video's description to find the link. Speak out today.